Our first guest here tonight attended President Trump's executive order signing at the White House earlier today. It's America First Policy Institute Center for Education Opportunity Chair, Erika Donalds. Erika, to me, this is a pretty straightforward argument to have with the American people and those who are opposing this, because you see all the protests and people saying it's a disgrace to close the Department of Education. You look at the status quo, the numbers we just ran through. Who in their right mind would look at that and say, yes, that is succeeding, we want to continue it?
Well, only those that are believing the lies of the left and the teachers union, who are telling them that students are not going to get the services that they deserve. We know that is not true, that President Trump and Secretary McMahon have promised the funding will continue to flow to states, but without the additional bureaucratic red tape that is costing money to comply with. We have federal bureaucrats, we have state bureaucrats, we have bureaucrats at every district simply to comply with federal mandates. What President Trump wants to do, and what he did today, was say, we're going to return all of this money to the states. They can handle the enforcement of meeting those students' needs, and they can also be held accountable for the results.
It is just astonishing if you look at the United States spends more per child than any developed nation, but we have near the bottom of scores in terms of math and reading. And the only solution that the unions have is more money. And by the way, that number that we showed, in fact was 280 some million dollars last year, Erika. If you include $268 billion the Department of Education spent, because the schools, the unions rather, got $200 billion during COVID. And what did we get? We get children who were developmentally and psychologically and educationally damaged because these unions really don't care. They truly hate children.
Well, they care definitely more about adults, and you saw that in the growth of non-teaching positions over the 45 years that the department has been in existence. And what we want to see is more empowering of parents with these funds, these federal funds, and we're going to allow states to do that. You know, a previous executive order regarding school choice asked the department to give guidance to states on how they can help put this money in the hands of parents, whether they're low-income parents, parents of students with disabilities, so they can make decisions for their students. I can tell you they are not going to be spending that money on additional bureaucrats. They're going to hire more tutors. They're going to purchase more education materials for their children to ensure that their children have a chance at real success.
And the thing is, Erika, the results are getting worse, right? We keep spending more and more. We put the $3 trillion number up on the screen. It's not like the Department of Education goes back to the founding of the Republic. It's to the 1970s. Are results better now, those decades later, than they were beforehand after all of that money poured through this one building that seems to achieve nothing, to put it kindly? I mean, I feel like the other side of this debate should be forced to defend a status quo that is wheezing and failing these students.
Yes, we are in a national crisis when it comes to educational performance. Only 3 in 10 students are reading proficiently here in 2025 in the United States of America. We should all be outraged that we have spent this kind of money with these kinds of results. We cannot continue the status quo. Someone needs to be held accountable. Right now, that means that since the Department of Education has not achieved its mission, it's going to go away, thanks to President Trump and, of course, with the help of Congress. But then the states have to step up to the plate. They have to do their jobs. They have to increase student performance, and they have to be held accountable.
Well, it's the red states and the conservative states that are pushing forward and passing school choice. By the end of this year, roughly half of the states in this fine union will offer some form of school choice. Most recently, it's going to be New Hampshire and Governor Kelly Ayotte. It's the blue states that, quite frankly, have been downright racist in the way that they've educated kids, because the most irreparable harm has been done to poor Black and Latino children in the big blue cities. Final word, Erika.
Well, we have seen in blue states where state leaders as well as union members are and union leaders especially, are standing in the schoolhouse door, reminiscent of the civil rights movement. But instead of blocking kids from going in, they're blocking kids from going out. I've talked to many parents as a former school board member who want to move schools who are not able to. Why it's so important that we continue to advocate for and pass school choice policies across this country and give every single parent the option to take their children to an academic environment that works for them.
Erika, thank you. Erika Donalds.